Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Life is like a winding road full of twists, turns, and sometimes roadblocks that make you want to throw your hands up and quit. But here's the thing. The journey you're on isn't random. It's taking you somewhere, even if it doesn't look like it right now. Maybe you're facing a setback, feeling stuck, or wondering if all your hard work is even worth it. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is. You just have to trust the journey. This isn't about blind optimism or pretending life's challenges don't exist. It's about understanding that every moment of good, bad, and everything in between is part of a bigger plan. It's about finding the strength to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. By the end of this, you'll see why trusting the journey isn't just a choice. It's the key to unlocking the life you were meant to live. So stay with me, because the road ahead is worth it. Every journey begins with faith, and that faith is often the most critical element in determining whether you take the first step. Faith is not about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will unfold. It's about believing in your potential and trusting that you have what it takes to navigate the road ahead. When you start with faith, you give yourself permission to dream big, to aspire to something greater, and to pursue a life beyond your current circumstances. Faith is the seed from which all growth begins, and without it, you may never take the leap that leads to transformation, right? Starting with faith doesn't mean you won't encounter doubt. Doubt is natural, especially when the path before you is uncertain or when challenges arise that seem insurmountable. But faith is what keeps you moving despite the doubt. It's what allows you to push through fear and insecurity, reminding you that you don't have to have everything figured out to begin. Faith whispers that the journey is worth it, even when the destination feels out of reach. It's a belief that there's something greater waiting for you, even if you can't see it yet. Faith also fuels resilience. When you face setbacks, and you will, it's your faith that reminds you why you started in the first place. It's the inner voice that tells you to get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Without faith, setbacks can feel like the end of the road, but with faith, they become stepping stones. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn, and to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Faith transforms obstacles into opportunities, turning what could be a reason to quit into a reason to keep fighting. Taking the first step in faith is also an act of courage. It requires you to leave your comfort zone and venture into the unknown. That's not easy, but it's necessary. The comfort zone is safe, but it's also stagnant. Growth doesn't happen there. Faith pushes you to take risks, to embrace uncertainty, and to trust that even if you stumble, you'll find your footing again. It's about believing in your ability to adapt, to learn, and to overcome whatever challenges come your way. Faith is not just about trusting yourself. It's also about trusting the process. It's about understanding that the journey may not be linear, and that's okay. There will be detours, delays, and unexpected twists, but each one serves a purpose. Faith helps you see the bigger picture, reminding you that every step, no matter how small, is part of a larger plan. It encourages you to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow or invisible, because you trust that the effort you're putting in will pay off in the end. Ultimately, starting with faith is about giving yourself permission to dream and to pursue those dreams with everything you've got. It's about believing that you are worthy of success and capable of achieving it. Faith doesn't guarantee an easy journey, but it does guarantee a meaningful one. When you begin with faith, you set the foundation for a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. Just trust that the next one will appear when you need it. Life is rarely a straight path, and one of the most valuable lessons we can learn is how to embrace the detours. These unexpected turns, roadblocks, and challenges are not there to derail us. They are there to shape us, teach us, and redirect us towards something even greater. The problem is when a detour comes, our first instinct is often frustration or resistance. We question why things aren't going as planned, why our progress feels stalled, or why life seems to be throwing us off course. But the truth is, those detours are often the moments when we grow the most. Here's an ineffective truth. Every detour carries a lesson, but you have to be willing to see it. Sometimes the lesson is patience. You might have a clear vision of where you want to go, but the timing isn't right. A delay doesn't mean you're denied. It means you're being prepared. Other times, the lesson is resilience. When you hit an obstacle, it forces you to dig deeper, to find strength and determination you didn't know you had. And sometimes the lesson is clarity. What you thought you wanted might not be what's best for you, and the detour is life's way of guiding you to something better. Detours also teach us flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how carefully you plan, things won't always go the way you envision. When you learn to adapt and adjust, you become unstoppable. Instead of clinging to the way you thought things should be, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You might discover a path you never even considered, one that leads to opportunities far beyond what you imagined. The key is to remain open and curious, to approach each detour with a mindset of exploration rather than frustration. Sometimes detours can feel like setbacks, but they're really setups for a comeback. You might feel like you're being pushed backward, but often that's because you're being positioned for something greater. Think about it. A slingshot has to be pulled back before it can launch forward. The same is true for your journey. The detours are setting you up with the skills, experiences, and mindset you need to handle what's ahead. Without them, you might not be ready for the opportunities that are coming your way. Embracing detours also means letting go of the need to control everything. Control is an illusion anyway, and the sooner you release it, the freer you'll feel. Trust that the detour has a purpose, even if you can't see it right now. It's like driving in the fog. You might not be able to see more than a few feet ahead, but as long as you keep moving, the path will reveal itself. The detour isn't the end of the road, it's just a different route. When you look back on your life, you'll often find that the detours were the most pivotal moments. They were the times when you learned what you were made of, when you discovered strengths you didn't know you had, and when you found opportunities you didn't even know existed. So the next time you encounter a detour, don't fight it. Embrace it. Trust that it's part of the journey, and know that it's leading you exactly where you're meant to go. Trusting the process is one of the hardest things to do when you're chasing a dream or trying to overcome challenges. We live in a world that values instant results, and when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like, it's easy to get discouraged. But the truth is, anything worth having takes time. Growth, success, and fulfillment are not overnight achievements. They are the result of consistent effort, patience, and perseverance. Trusting the process means believing that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goal. The process isn't always glamorous, and it rarely feels rewarding in the moment. It's those early mornings and late nights, the countless hours of work when no one is watching, and the sacrifices you make that often go unnoticed. It's easy to question whether it's all worth it when the results aren't immediately visible. But just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening. A seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted. It spends time growing, shapes you into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. The process builds character. It teaches you discipline, focus, and the ability to keep going when things get tough. These qualities don't just help you achieve your goals, they transform you into someone who can handle the success and the responsibilities that come with it. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to trust the process is because they compare their journey to others. You might see someone else achieving success faster or with seemingly less effort, and it can make you question your own progress. But comparison is a trap. Everyone's journey is unique, and what works for someone else might not work for you. Trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. Focus on your own growth and progress. And remember that what's meant for you will never pass you by. Trusting the process also requires letting go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism can paralyze you, making you afraid to take risks or make mistakes. But mistakes are an essential part of the process. They teach you what works and what doesn't, helping you refine your approach and grow stronger. Embrace the imperfections and trust that they are part of the journey. Each misstep is a lesson that brings you closer to your goal. Ultimately, trusting the process is an act of faith. It's believing that the time, energy, and effort you're investing will pay off, even if the results take longer than expected. It's understanding that every step, no matter how small, is progress. Trust the process, because it's not just about achieving your dreams. It's about becoming the person who is ready to live them. Keep going, stay patient, and know that everything you're doing today is laying the foundation for the future you've always envisioned. Learning to embrace uncertainty is one of the most liberating things you can do on your journey. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we plan or prepare, there will always be elements we can't control. This can feel unsettling because we're wired to seek stability and certainty. But the truth is, uncertainty isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's in those moments of the unknown that life's greatest opportunities and lessons often emerge. When you let go of the need to have everything figured out, you open yourself up to possibilities you never imagined. Uncertainty can feel like standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure of what lies below. But that edge is where growth happens. It's where you're forced to take a leap of faith, to trust that you'll either land on solid ground or learn to fly. The greatest breakthroughs in life often come when you step out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. It's scary, yes, but it's also where the magic happens. When you embrace uncertainty, you're saying yes to growth, yes to learning, and yes to becoming the person you're meant to be. One of the reasons uncertainty feels so challenging is because we equate it with a lack of control. But control is an illusion. No matter how much we try to predict or manage every aspect of our lives, there will always be factors beyond our influence. Instead of resisting this truth, we can choose to flow with it. When you stop trying to control everything, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. You learn to focus on what you can control, your attitude, your effort, and your perspective, and let go of the rest. Embracing uncertainty also means being open to change. Change is inevitable, and it's often the very thing that leads us to where we're supposed to be. When you resist change, you stay stuck in the familiar, even if it's not serving you. But when you embrace it, you allow yourself to evolve and adapt. You might not know what's on the other side of that change, but that's okay. Trust that it's leading you to something better, even if you can't see it yet. Uncertainty teaches you to trust yourself. When you're faced with the unknown, you have to rely on your instincts, your resilience, and your ability to adapt. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and learn to navigate challenges with courage and creativity. The more you embrace uncertainty, the more confident you become in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Finally, uncertainty reminds us to stay present. When you're caught up in worrying about the future or regretting the past, you miss the beauty of the moment you're in. Embracing uncertainty means accepting that you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. It allows you to focus on what's happening right now, to find joy in the journey, and to trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to. Life will always have its unknowns, but that's what makes it exciting. Embrace the uncertainty, trust yourself, and have faith that the journey is leading you exactly where you're meant to go. The unknown isn't something to fear. It's a blank canvas waiting for you to paint your masterpiece. Maintaining faith in the face of adversity is one of the most powerful tools you can have on your journey. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and moments that test your resolve. But it's in those moments that faith becomes your anchor. Faith isn't about denying the difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It's about believing in the possibility of better days, even when the present feels overwhelming. It's about holding on to hope and trusting that the struggles you're facing are shaping you for something greater. When adversity strikes, it's natural to feel discouraged or even defeated. You might question why things are happening the way they are, or wonder if you're strong enough to get through it. But adversity isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're growing. The challenges you face are opportunities to learn, to adapt, and to build resilience. Faith helps you see beyond the immediate pain and recognize that every obstacle is a stepping stone to your ultimate purpose. It reminds you that the story isn't over and the best chapters are still ahead. Faith doesn't mean you have all the answers or that the path will always be clear. In fact, it often requires walking forward even when you can't see the whole picture. It's about trusting that each step you take is leading you closer to where you're meant to be. This kind of trust can feel difficult, especially when the road is rocky, but it's also deeply freeing. When you let go of the need to control every outcome and instead focus on doing your best, you create space for possibilities you might not have considered. Adversity also has a way of revealing what truly matters. It strips away the distractions and forces you to focus on your values, your goals, and the people who support you. Faith helps you stay grounded in those priorities. It reminds you that even in the darkest times, there's always something to be grateful for. Gratitude shifts your perspective, allowing you to find strength in what you have rather than dwelling on what you lack. It's not about ignoring the challenges. but about finding the silver linings that keep you moving forward. Another powerful aspect of faith is its ability to connect you to something bigger than yourself. Whether it's a belief in a higher power, the universe, or simply the power of human resilience, faith gives you a sense of purpose and belonging. It reminds you that you're not alone in your struggles and that others have faced similar challenges and come out stronger. This sense of connection can be a source of incredible comfort and motivation, especially when the journey feels isolating. Finally, maintaining faith in adversity means believing in your own ability to overcome. You've faced tough times before, and you've made it through. Every challenge you've overcome has prepared you for the next one, and you're stronger than you realize. Faith isn't just about believing in something external, it's about believing in yourself. It's about knowing that no matter what comes your way, you have the strength, the courage, and the determination to rise above it. Adversity is a part of life, but it doesn't define you. How you respond to it does. Faith gives you the power to face challenges with grace and determination, to keep going even when the road is tough, and to trust that every storm will pass. Hold on to that faith and let it guide you through the toughest times, knowing that brighter days are always ahead. Celebrating progress, no matter how small, is an essential part of trusting the journey. Often we get so focused on the destination that we forget to acknowledge how far we've come. We measure success by grand milestones and overlook the small victories that pave the way. But every step forward, no matter how tiny, is worth celebrating. It's those small steps that add up to big changes, and recognizing them keeps you motivated, inspired, and connected to your growth. Progress isn't always linear, and that's okay. There will be times when you feel like you're moving forward at a steady pace, and other times when progress feels slow or even non-existent. But even on the days when it seems like you're standing still, you're still learning, growing, and becoming stronger. Each challenge you face, each lesson you learn, and each effort you make is progress. Celebrating these moments helps you stay focused on the journey instead of fixating on how far you still have to go. When you celebrate progress, you're giving yourself permission to appreciate the effort you've put in. It's easy to downplay your achievements or brush them off as insignificant, but every bit of progress matters. Maybe you've taken the first step toward a goal, learned a new skill, or simply shown up for yourself on a tough day. These moments deserve recognition because they're proof of your commitment and resilience. They're reminders that you're moving forward, even if it doesn't always feel like it. Acknowledging progress also builds momentum. Each time you celebrate a win, no matter how small, you're fueling your motivation to keep going. It's like adding fuel to a fire. It keeps the flame alive and gives you the energy to tackle the next challenge. When you take the time to reflect on what you've accomplished, you're reinforcing the belief that you're capable of achieving even more. It's a powerful way to stay encouraged and maintain a positive outlook, even when the journey gets tough. Celebrating progress isn't just about looking back, it's also about staying present. It's about appreciating the journey for what it is, a series of moments that shape you into the person you're meant to be. When you focus too much on the future, you risk missing out on the beauty of the present. But when you celebrate the small wins along the way, you're reminding yourself to stay grounded and enjoy the process. Life isn't just about reaching the destination. It's about finding joy in the steps that get you there. Another important aspect of celebrating progress is sharing it with others. When you share your wins, you're not only inspiring yourself, but wait until you've achieved the big goal to celebrate. You can start right now. Appreciate the small wins. Reflect on how far you've come and trust that each step is bringing you closer to where you're meant to be. When you celebrate progress, you're not just celebrating what you've done, you're celebrating who you're becoming.